Hey everyone, welcome back to another Empires and Puzzles video. This time we will be doing a review for the new portal for the Fortune Summon. We have 3 brand new heroes and a new family introduced into the game, so let's quickly go over them and then see. I'll do some polls at the end, and I'll let you know like if I think it's worth doing polls in this portal as well. Or if it's best to skip. Obviously, it's a little hard to predict, meta changes like that, but we can get a rough idea of that as well. So let's start off with this first hero. This is a nature hero, Wei Qi. I'm probably going to butcher all these names, so I apologize in advance. But you can see they are part of the Fortune Dancer family. For 2 or 3 heroes, you'll gather 30% or 50% chance to increase the duration of each of the Fortune dances cast by this character by 1 turn. So that's helpful. I mean, you can see on the bottom, he gives a vibrant Fortune dance for 4 turns. So, if you have 2 unique heroes from this family, then there's a 30% chance it'll be there for 5 turns. So pretty nice. And if 4 turns is pretty long. If 5 is even better. So definitely a nice little bonus here. I wish there was one for just 1 hero, because 2 it's pretty hard to pull these heroes, so it's a shame that you need 2 of them, but that's okay. They have this passive here, Fierce Dancer. So if any allies are dancing when there's this character's special skill damage deals 30% more damage. I think it's only like this hero, I think. So like if the ally next to them has the dance, Wei Qi will deal 30% more damage in his spirit slash below. So it's not. I don't think it's a buff for the nearby allies, but it's still a nice increase for him. And it's any dancing, so it doesn't have to be his. It could be from Gazelle, let's say, for example, right? Then he'll deal more damage as well. So this is a nice passive to have here, just a little extra damage. He is part of the wizard class. I think this is one of the weaker ones. I mean, there's some extra chance to deal additional damage. I don't know. This one's just kind of it's probably like one of the worst classes in the game. So not much to say about this one. Their Aether power up is attack up, which is nice. So for the first 6 turns, they'll get an increase in attack by 20%. So that's definitely helpful. But in terms of the special, we have a new mana speed implemented as well in this family, which is the Dancer mana speed. And if we go over that really quickly, Dancer mana speed is faster than fast, but becomes slow for 3 turns after each special skill cast. I don't know what that means, honestly. Like they're faster than fast. So are they very fast mana speed, or are they like... I don't know. So maybe they are very fast mana speed. And then once they cast their special skill, they're going to be slow for 3 turns. So you don't want to match any tiles probably during that time. And I think the animation is kind of like the changing tides. Like I think once you use the special skill, their mana bar on the hero will... I think it'll say like slow or something to indicate that their mana speed is different at that time. So that's kind of, I think, roughly how the mana speed works there. Just a little confused about they're faster than fast. I don't know what that means, but we'll probably figure that out as these heroes start being used in defenses or attacking teams as well. But in terms of their special skill, they deal 700% spirit slash damage to the target. Spirit slash safely removes buffs before dealing damage. And if we look at the additional information, the damage is reduced by 50% for each removed buff, and undispellable buffs are also removed. So you can remove undispellable buffs, which is really nice, but the damage is reduced by 50% for each removed buff. So I think if they remove a buff, I guess the 700 goes down to 350 then, is how I'm understanding that. So I feel like, I don't know, this... damage is reduced. Yeah, I mean, that seems... From what I'm gathering with this, it seems like you want to use this hero on someone that has no buffs, or like 1 buff at least, because if it's for each removed buff, I mean, he can deal like 100 damage, 100% damage in if they have multiple effects on each other. So that's the one questionable thing that I don't think I love a whole lot. And then the nearby allies dance with the Vibrant Fortune Dance for 4 turns, and this is only the nearby allies, not even the caster. So the nearby allies will get plus 50% defense, and damage dealt is increased by 20%, and 30% against ice targets, and then damage received is reduced by 20% or 30% against fire. And then the new kind of feature with these Fortune heroes is that this dances can stack with each other. So all the status effects will be removed, except other dance status effects. So it gives immunity to new effects, except other dance statuses. So I think you can pair them, with. I think Gazelle is probably just the best example, but other Fortune heroes as well. So then all these, and they all have different dances as well. So all that, plus 50% defense. Another one gives attack. So you can definitely, stack up a lot of these things on your nearby allies. So I think that's nice. I think this hero is pretty good, but he just seems like just a nice sniper plus some support, or he helps keep his allies alive. So I think pretty good card. Nothing that I would chase after in my opinion. It just sucks that it's also just the nearby allies. If it was the caster and nearby allies, that's a little bit better than. But if it's just the nearby allies, it's a little bit worse. But all right, so up next we have a fire hero. We have Bai Yan, and also same family. I won't go over all those. Here we have a druid class, which is best for defensive heroes, and that from looking at the special, it looks like already this is going to be a slightly more defensive hero. Same passive. Their Aether power up is defense up, which is really nice, especially with the druid class. So so far everything looks really good. Same mana speed. I don't think this changes. Yeah, this doesn't change. So the only thing that's different is a special. So they boost the caster and nearby allies with 1300 health. With Spirit Aura safely removes status elements before boosting health. And the health boost is reduced by 100 for each removed ailment. So, for example, if Magus hits your team, if Bai Yan goes off, she will remove the minus the healing that Magus puts on. She won't remove the Wither, I think. I think it's just the effect. So then you would heal 1200 with this. So definitely a nice special here, and I think the minus 100 is reasonable compared to the other special we saw a second ago, which was minus 50% damage, which was like a huge cut. So this one still seems okay to me so far. And then the nearby allies, so once again, not the caster, only the nearby allies, dances the Fiery Fortune Dance for 4 turns. And then here they get 50% attack, damage dealt is increased against nature as well. And then here, so they pretty much just get either increased damage against a certain color or reduced damage from another color. So I think that's where all the stacking will come into play. Is like if you use both Wake Key, then here you get, for example, an increase against ice. And then with Bai Yan, you'll get an increase in damage against nature. So I think that's great. And definitely can be used pretty well. Other than that, I mean, just a healer that gives some support to your nearby allies. And this one's attack. I think I like the defense one a little bit more. The defense stance, because attack is nice as well. But I mean, overall, I think this card is still pretty good. I think the Spirit Aura, like this minus 100, is like not that bad compared to others. So I think this card is definitely so far in my number one spot from the two that we've reviewed already. So now let's look at the last one. And lastly, we have Yan King, I think. And here they have the Flowing Dragon Dual Slash. Everything's the same. Here they are a Ranger class, which is nice because they have a 25% chance to bypass defensive buffs, which is always really helpful. And then the Aether power-up is Dodge, which is also very good to have nowadays. So overall, pretty good combination here. Definitely a more offensive, I would say, pairing that we have here with these Aethers in the class. But let's take a look at the special. So deals 500% spirit / damage to the enemies on the edges of the formation. So just position on the wings of positions 1 and 5. And then safely removes the buffs before dealing damage. And here we have minus 60% for each removed buff. I mean, that's like a huge cut. Because then you go down to what, 200%, I think, right? So I feel like that's like nothing then. Like his attack set is really high, but I mean, 200%, I mean, I feel like that does nothing. Yeah, I mean, it seems a little aggressive to be removing minus 60%, minus 50%. But yeah, I don't know, it seems a little crazy. But here I think this dance is the best. So nearby allies will get the flowing fortune dance for 4 turns. And here I think is the best dance out of the 3 is they get plus 44% mana generation. And then of course, your increase in damage and reduction in damage to specific elements. And then stacking, of course. So I think the mana generation, I mean, that's huge, 44%. So I think, pairing Yanqing with slow blue heroes around him would definitely, help him, or even, it can be any color. But I think pairing him with slow healers around him would help him tremendously, and definitely utilizes that mana generation to the most. I think I mean, it's tough. I think I like Bayan the most. I think her special just makes the most sense. She doesn't get penalized as much for healing, for using her special. And I think probably the second best one I like is Yanqing, and then the one that I'm not too crazy about is Wei Qi. I'm not a huge fan of snipers. I think they need to do a little bit more than just sniping. But I think the bottom 2 are probably my favorites. So yeah, I think overall pretty good. Let's do some polls now, and I'll be right back with those. All right, so I have some gems now, so let's see if we can try pulling anything. I'll only do 1 10 pull. We can see we have a 0.6% chance to get one of these featured legendary heroes. So pretty small chance. And then here it's also worth 3,900 points to make it, or gems to make a 10 pull. So it's definitely more than other portals, but I think here it's because they're guaranteed to be fully ascended. So I think that's probably why it's a little bit more expensive than usual. But let's do our pull. I'll be happy with anyone, honestly. But I think I definitely want Yanqing or Bayan. I think those are the 2 that look the most interesting to me. So let's see. And if we don't get anyone, I mean, it'll be unfortunate, but I won't be mad about it. And I'm definitely not going to do more polls, just this one, and that's it. So we got Dragon Kids, okay. The 4, I'm not going to review the 4 3-stars. I think only the 5 stars are interesting. But so far, nothing, I think. Yeah, so we got nothing in the 10 pull, but I think it's okay. Let me know if you were able to pull one of these 3 heroes, and if you've maxed them already. How do you enjoy playing with them? I'm definitely interested to see what other people have to say. So yeah, definitely let me know in the comments if you've managed to pull them, and I'm excited to hear that.